So, in case you've been living under a rock as of late, there's been some very big news going on in gaming. Microsoft just purchased Activision for $69 billion. Almost $70 billion, chump change. And this has been easily one of the biggest events in gaming in not just the last week or month or year, ever, because this is the biggest acquisition in gaming history. It's such a big deal. And it's just one of those stories that keeps evolving that initially I was going to make this video right after the news came out, but considering how the stories continue to update and on top of that I've been busy with other things, I felt it was only right, and I was debating back and forth about having this be a news video and a talk video. But now we're back to news, and I'm going to have multiple different articles pulled up here, which I'll leave a link to in the description below for y'all to check out as always. But yeah, let's get to reading some of this and talking about this evolving story and how things continue to develop over time. Alright, so one aspect of the situation is that, for those who don't know, this process is going to take some time, as it is with the Bethesda one when that happened last year when they were purchased by Microsoft for $7 billion, and now with Activision, it's not going to be till mid-2023 that everything has gone through fully and Activision is fully owned by Microsoft. This just started a few days ago, so it's going to take some time. But to put it simply, one thing that looks to be a possibility, because there's many possibilities being opened up when it comes to this whole situation, is potentially bringing back some old franchises. The CEO of Activision, Big Boy Bobby, everyone's favorite person in gaming at the moment, saying he wants Xbox to revive Guitar Hero and Skylanders, which, if they were to do this, so long as the IPs are handled with care and trust and come out quality and aren't incomplete and don't lack content and aren't just total shit, then you know what? I think something like this could work, because these are franchises with a bunch of demand, and considering just how many IPs Activision has, and knowing how all those IPs and studios are now under Microsoft's wing, or in time are going to be, because, again, this is going to take time, that right there gives them tons of potential for all sorts of brand new exclusives, because no doubt there's going to be many of franchises from Activision that going forward are going to be Xbox and PC only, and not appear on PlayStation. Because this is already something that's happening with Bethesda, considering, again, they've been owned by Microsoft for a while, so it only makes sense that it would happen for Activision as well. And doing this would also allow Microsoft the ability to let a lot of these franchises, aka COD, get a proper break, because now that they have not only Halo, but Doom, Wolfenstein, COD, Prey, all these different FPS franchises as just one example, they can say, take COD, give that a few years worth of a break, and have other franchises take its place and fill that void of COD during the November or October time of month, and thus have all these different franchises all swap back and forth. So say, depending on what happens with this deal, because I imagine that Modern Warfare 2, which is this upcoming Call of Duty game for 2022, Activision has actually taken the time to copyright some leaks about the game, so that confirms everything and tells you what you need to know about COD 2022. But to put it simply, say that the next Call of Duty game comes out in 2023, and that's an Xbox exclusive. From there in 2024, they can give the series a break, and thus have something like Doom 3 take its place, and then in 2025, Wolfenstein, and then from there, in 2026, Call of Duty again. Now granted, none of this could end up happening, and Call of Duty could continue still being an annual series, but now more than ever, the possibility for, again, COD to get a proper break, and to give all these different franchises the revival they deserve, and to give all of these games the quality that they deserve, and the time that they need to be developed, and to hopefully improve workplace culture, and to just have a better experience when it comes to buying these games. More than ever, this can now happen. Going forward, COD could be a series which isn't treated like total shit by its publisher. Tony Hawk Pro Skater Remastered 3+4 can actually happen. In general, there's so many different series that they can just... Dude, Microsoft has so much shit at this point, and yes, I get the whole argument of monopolizing the industry, and yes, that is a very understandable fear to have, because if too many franchises are being bought up, if too many companies are being bought up, it's gonna reach a point where there isn't going to be enough competition because all the competition will have cannibalized itself. But I don't think we've reached that point just yet. I think that now would be a pretty decent stopping point when it comes to acquiring brand new studios for Microsoft, which, for all I know, tomorrow, we could end up seeing EA purchased by Microsoft, which I hope that doesn't happen because, that's enough, okay? That's enough for the time being. We don't need any more. We're good for right now. And I think that this only has more benefits than it does drawbacks. Is Big Boy Bobby receiving $390 million as his final goodbye from the company? Because that just seems to be how Microsoft does things, yes. But if that's what they gotta do in order to get him the fuck out, then fuck it. Just do it and get out of the way. Get Bobby the fuck out of there. Now that we know for sure that he's gonna be gone at some point, that right there is nothing but an improvement in itself. It is only an improvement. Granted, again, I get the worries about monopolizing the industry and other repercussions that can come from this, but still, I only see it as more of a positive than anything. Now, as for them saying they're going to keep COD on PlayStation, I think that's something that's only going to stick around for whatever contractual obligations Sony has left with Activision. But beyond that point, I see COD becoming Xbox and PC only, which, considering how many franchises Microsoft has, that alone, I think, definitely helps make up for revenue. Speaking of Bobby, here's another little tidbit of information. Bobby decided to show up late and failed to address employee concerns. Yeah, said nothing about it. It was like 16 minutes long, and just didn't bother bringing up anything that people really had concerns with, because why would he? I mean, how much worse can he make his reputation at this point? I mean, it's always possible to make it worse. For all we know, Bobby could be the successor to Hitler. I mean, you never know. But, shit, the possibility is there. I mean, for all we know, he could have another Cosby Suite somewhere. Maybe he has a second one on Epstein Island. I mean, who knows? But as much of a piece of shit as this dude is, again, he's gonna be on at some point. And then from there, hopefully Microsoft's work culture will intensely influence Activision and Blizzard going forward, because both are beyond corrupted at this point. They are both fundamentally fucked up and broken. Okay, they are fucked. They could be chalked, and I think most people would prefer that, but ultimately, Activision has still done good things in the industry, okay? They've given a lot of people jobs. As much as they've taken away jobs, they've given plenty of people jobs. Granted, those jobs have been pretty shitty for the most part for a lot of people, specifically the women working at Activision, but ultimately, things can start changing for the better, and if any company is going to be influencing any company in this instance, it's going to be Microsoft influencing Activision, and not the other way around, because this is Microsoft we're talking about. $70 billion is fuck you money for them. I mean, that says everything you need to know. And by improving workplace culture, therefore, this only increases the morale of developers, and therefore, this only betters working conditions. Therefore, this only betters the quality of games. Again, I just feel like, overall, this is only going to be a positive going forward. And a part of that reason being Phil Spencer, because this dude is a fucking Chad. Okay? Is he still someone who works for a corporation? Yes. And Microsoft, as much as I have been praising them for this in this video, they definitely aren't perfect. They've made their mistakes. They've fucked up. They've had their allegations. Believe me, I'm completely aware, and I've criticized them plenty of times at this point. But I like to give credit where credit is due. And if purchasing Activision is going to be what it takes in order to cleanse them of their beyond fuck sins, then shit, I'm all for it. But yeah, to put it simply, this article here goes more into detail about reviving old franchises. So again, all this will be linked in the description below. And speaking of Blizzard, the boss of Blizzard is starting to talk about what they can do to improve the trust of their fans, which they've got a hell of a challenge set ahead of them. I hope they pull through. I'm really hoping for the best when it comes to them, but it's definitely going to take some time to really prove themselves. Once again, as the company people grew up loving and knowing, and just seeing how they've fallen off. It's a shame, so perhaps Xbox will give them that redemption that they do need desperately. So yeah, to put it simply, again, this whole situation has just been updating nonstop. I know that this video has seemed a little all over the place, and I apologize for that. Granted, being all over the place is sort of a staple of this channel, but with this video in particular, there's just been so much shit happening all at once when it comes to this specific piece of news and this overall event that it's just, it's been a bit of a bitch trying to keep up, so I'm hoping that this video does a good enough job of demonstrating what I'm attempting to say, because there's a shit ton to say about this whole situation and the circumstances surrounding it. So, I guess how I can end this video, because I think it's gone on long enough for this point, is just asking, what are your guys' thoughts on all this? How are you feeling? Are you feeling hopeful when it comes to the future of Xbox and how they'll handle exclusives and reviving franchises and game quality? Hopefully they won't end up fucking things up, because that can happen. That is a possible consequence, because, you have studios they've purchased in the past, Rare, which I think that a lot of that was on Rare themselves, and not just Microsoft. But still, Microsoft definitely did play some level of a role in that. There's no denying that. Granted, that was at a very different point in time when it comes to Microsoft's history, and Phil Spencer has really turned the ship around, because just thinking back to when Don Matrick was in charge of Xbox and just how he was completely destroying the company's reputation. Yeah, no. We've come a far way. We've come a long way from where Xbox was nearly a decade ago. I know what I've said about Microsoft in the past, and I've definitely made fun of them quite a few times. I've criticized them plenty. I straight up called their gameplay reveal for the Series X trash. That was the title. You can go look it up. It's one of the most popular videos on the channel, so it's not difficult to find. Again, I gotta give credit where credit is due, and I gotta give credit to Phil Spencer, because he's only been a good thing for the company. Granted, Xbox still is not in the best position it could be, but we are getting there more and more over time, and I do think that sooner rather than later, we're gonna see so many of these anticipated exclusives pop up, because, we've got Starfield, for example, which hopefully that'll help play a role in improving Bethesda's reputation, because they've made plenty of mistakes, granted on a much smaller scale, and in a very different context than, say, Activision, because Bethesda is an angel compared to Activision, an absolute fucking angel. So hopefully they will be in a better spot going forward now that they have Microsoft to back them up, and Lord Spencer there to help them find the way, guide the path forward. Yeah, this, I feel, again, for the 100th time, is only for the better, so yeah, I'm gonna end it on that note. So I hope you enjoyed this fairly long news video, and that's gonna be it. I'll see you all next time, but until then, I'm out. Later.